Hello. I'm going to put some clues together for you, and I want to see if you can come up with a conclusion. You may notice that I am looking dishevelled. My beard is growing, and it is nearing. We're very much in the midst of deadline season at university, and it was recently my birthday. Put all those things together. We're here for a book haul. We're here for a mental health, serotonin boosting goddamn haul. Looking at all the things that myself and others have bought me in a hopes of buoyanting my mood. And we're also going to see at how well I've done at actually reading them, because all of these are they're from the start of the year, from January until now, but mainly end of February to the present. So we're going to see how well I've done at actually reading the books that other people have gotten me. I do have some other things that I have bought, but they've been for videos or they've been for stuff that I have actively mentioned them and already reviewed them. And then there's also stuff like secondhand books that I have picked up here and there, like this one, for instance. Which, yeah, I got that secondhand. A lot of the books I read are secondhand, so these are mainly gifts that I am putting to usage. And we've got a couple of hardbacks at the back, which are thanks to my Patreons, because I can actually afford hardbacks. Who'd have thunk it? Usually, no fucking chance in hell, but once a month now I can be like, yeah, it was my birthday in March. Grace was kind enough to get me a gift card for Broken Binding because, you know, we love their packaging, we love Broken Binding, they are the best. I got Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield, which I have read straight off the fucking bat. 1 out of 1, we've read it. This is a kind of psychological horror that is very slow paced, extremely good. I'll go into it more when I actually do either a dedicated review or in my wrap up. But if you're looking for atmospheric, ecological horror that is all about the deep sea, creepy, really good, queer, I'm hitting all the buzzwords that I need. So, yeah, 1 out of 1. Follow it up with The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince. You won't believe it. Fucking 2 out of 2, boys. I've read it. Done. It also slapped. This will be in another wrap up or whatever video I do. But this is a bit of contextual lore novella told in the style of like a dark fairy tale. Very storyteller narrator. And slapped hard. It was really interesting, provides a lot of context and world building that I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. So we're 2 for 2. This is The Birthday Party by a Laurent, I don't know how to pronounce French words, translated by Daniel Levin Becker. I don't know what this is about, really. It was a trade. I put up the unhaul of books I was planning to get rid of, and I said I was going to give Song of Achilles to Grace, but then Kieran popped up and was like, yo, I'll trade you a Fitzcarraldo for it. And so as the chivalrous boyfriend I am, I went, well, you got Kieran. And so we traded. So Birthday Party is longlisted at the moment for the International Booker Award. I've been wanting to read some of these. They are not. I have not been able to find any in stores. I try to only buy books if I go into a store and see it, to avoid me from having an addiction to online shopping. So I've been really disappointed with the fact that they just haven't been anywhere. So I was really appreciative to receive this. I do plan on reading it. We'll see whether it makes it to the shortlist, because I don't think I'm going to get to it before the shortlist comes out next week. But, banger. Thank you very much, Kieran. Next up is The Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut. I just realised I didn't tell you what Birthday Party was about. I actually don't know what Birthday Party is about, so I only received it and was like, whoa, Fitzcarraldo, it's pretty, that's all I need. So this says, buried deep in rural France, little remains of the isolated hamlet of the 3 lone girls, save a few houses and a curiously assembled quartet. Patrice, inheritor of his family's farm, his wife Marion, their daughter Ida, and their neighbour Christine, an artist. While Patrice plans a surprise for his wife's 40th birthday, inexplicable events start to disrupt the hamlet's quiet existence. Anonymous, menacing letters, an unfamiliar car rolling up the driveway, and as night falls, strangers stalk the houses, unleashing a nightmarish chain of events. Told in rhythmic, propulsive prose that weaves seamlessly from one consciousness to the next over the course of a day. The birthday party is a deft unravelling of the stories we hide from others and from ourselves, a gripping tale of the violent interruptions of the past into the present, written by a major contemporary French writer. So that gives me immediately Mrs. Dalloway vibes. Like, this is clearly replying to Mrs. Dalloway, surely. To me, that is straight up replying to Mrs. Dalloway, and that actually sounds very interesting, like a horror-y, weird psychological take on it. I'm here for that. I'm actually very interested. Next up, The Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut. This came up, it was recommended when I did the sci-fi recommendations video. I asked for people to put what they had, and this is the only one I've seen in store so far. I have read Slaughterhouse 5, really enjoyed that. And so this says that when Winston Niles Rootford flies his spacecraft into a chronosynclastic infundibulum, fuck you. He is converted into pure energy and only materializes when his waveforms intercept Earth or some other planet. As a result, he only gets home to Newport, Rhode Island once every 59 days, and then only for an hour. But at least, as a consolation, he now knows everything that has ever happened or that ever will happen. That sounds fucking odd, bizarre, interesting. What the fuck? I looked this book up, and I swear it did not say any of those words originally when I looked online. Like, that sounds super interesting as well. So I have not read that though, so we're 2 for 2. Next up. Yeah, we're on a bad track now. We're going to end up at about 4 to everything else. But, you know, Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Melors is just a classic literary vibe, you know. This is the book the hot people are reading. And I wanted to be one of those people. So when I saw it in a store, I was like, Mother, will you get this for me? And she did. This is that New York is slipping from Cleo's grasp. 24 at a different party every night, and with a student visa that's swiftly running out, she doesn't even have money for cigarettes. But when a chance encounter on New Year's Eve offers her a way out, Frank, successful and 20 years older, can give her the security she craves and the green card she needs. And in Cleo, he sees a life filled with beauty, art, and freedom. As the two rush headlong into an impulsive marriage, and their friends are drawn into its tumultuous orbit, what began as a chance meeting will change all of their lives forever. This is crazy, alright? This is the first time I've ever seen The Seven Moons of Marley Almeida in a fucking bookstore. It's the winner of the Booker Prize last year, and I went into a random independent bookstore, and this is the first time I've ever seen it. I have been, but between that time, I have been to Hull, London, fucking York. I've been across England. I have been to fucking Canada. I've been to Dubai during that time. This book has not fucking existed. It has taken so long to finally find it in person, and I was really happy because it's right up my alley. You know, in a world where I decide to write a fucking dissertation on Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children, Seven Moons of Marley Almeida is going dead in hand with it because Colombia, 1990. Marley Almeida, war photographer, gambler and closet gay, has woken up dead in what seems like a celestial visa office. His dismembered body is sinking in the Beira Lake, and he has no idea who killed him. At a time when scores are settled by death squads, suicide bombers and hired goons, the list of suspects is depressingly long, as the ghouls and ghosts who cluster around him can attest. But even in the afterlife, time is running out for Marley. He has 7 moons to try and contact the man and woman he loves most, and lead them to a hidden cache of photos that will rock Sri Lanka. Magical realism about Sri Lanka. It's very much in that realm, and I can imagine someone doing quite an interesting comparison between the two. Maybe I'll be that person. Who knows? But It's a real shame how little I have seen that book in person, considering it is the winner of the Booker Prize last year. Second Place by Rachel Cusk, I picked up purely because I saw Books with the Books and Bios review of it. This was longlisted for the Booker Prize back in 2021, and it's got a fascinating front cover. It's pure lit fic vibes. And it says, a woman invites a famed artist to the remote coastal landscape where she lives. Drawn to his paintings, she believes his vision may penetrate the mystery at the centre of her life. But as a long, dry summer sets in, his provocative presence soon twists the patterns of a secluded household. That one gives me very Virginia Woolf vibes. I was buzzing for Primeval and Other Times. I had never heard of this in my entire life. It is by I need to remember how to pronounce her last name. Olga Tokarczuk. I'm wrong, I apologise. Nevertheless, this, funnily enough, does not have a description of the book inside the book. It doesn't have a blurb, it doesn't have anything. This is translated by Antonia Lloyd-Jones. So I've read Drive Your Plough Over the Bones of the Dead, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so I just walked in, and I was looking at the side of it, and I was like, whoa, I fucking recognise that name. Pulled it out. The blurbs in the back, crazy. Like the back sleeve. Set in the mythical village of Primeval, a microcosm of the world populated by eccentric archetypal characters and guarded by 4 archangels. The novel chronicles the lives of the village's inhabitants over the course of the feral 20th century and the episodic violence visited on them. Forceful, direct, luminous, Primeval is an imaginative allegory about the inexorable grind of time, a fable about the eternal clash between modernity and nature, between the masculine and the feminine. It has been translated into many languages and hailed as a contemporary classic over Europe. That sounds utterly riveting as well. Reminds me of, say, like a Lapvona vibe in terms of a mythical, allegorical place. But hopefully I'll enjoy it a lot more than I did Lapvona. But that's also, I was so happy to find that. Next up, Foster by Claire Keegan. I've read it. We're back on the readings. We're back on the reading vibes. Finished this in a day. It was exquisite. This tells the story of a young girl in Ireland. It's like a super hot period in Ireland. And she's taken by her father to stay with 2 other people. And it's the idea that her mother is pregnant, she's going to have a new child. They can't really afford to look after her at the moment, so they dump her off there. And she lives with these 2 people, and you start to learn more about them, you learn about their relationship as they form it. And it packs such a large punch inside of only 80 pages. This is, without a doubt, a read in even one sitting. Not even a day, just one sitting. You could just sit there. The rain's coming down. You read this, and it was fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Black Butterflies by Priscilla Morris has been nominated for the Women's Prize this year. It's in the long list. It's a debut novel, and it surrounds the Bosnian War in the 90s. It's about an artist, a lecturer of fine art. I think it's fine art. In Sarajevo, I believe it is. Let me check. Yeah, Sarajevo. And it's where her mother and her husband have gone to England, have left Bosnia. And she stays because she's like, I have to look after, like, I need to teach. This isn't going to last long, don't worry about it. And then it is the just the descent into war, descent into this oppressive and dangerous atmosphere. It is a great rumination on art, the power of art. It did a lot. It did a lot of things. I have to admit, it's written in the present tense, and I struggle with that a lot. I think that mainly comes down to probably the fact that I read 2 books at the same time, and that's on me. So when you switch from your usual past tense and you're constantly reading past tense, but then you fit this in and you're reading this at the same time and it's present tense, it fucks with you a little, I won't lie to you. However, the central story was harrowing, it was beautiful, and it was a really engaging book. And then we go on to the 3 at the back. These are books that I bought for myself. These are ones I've picked up over the last 3 months. These are the hardbacks, the new books that I've got that I've been really excited for. First one, Wandering Souls. Wandering Souls, also nominated for the Women's Prize. This one was one that I desperately wanted to read when I saw it was about. It sounded really interesting. First off, it has Ocean Vuong quoted on the front. Need I say more? No one needs to tell me more than that. And it's also I saw I saw Rebecca Kwong put up a review of it as well and talked about how much she loved it. So I was 100% in. Okay, I've googled it. I'm hoping this is correct when I pronounce these. I apologise if they're wrong, and please let me know if they are. It says, one night, not long after the last American troops leave Vietnam, siblings An, Tan, and Min leave their village and embark on a perilous boat journey to Hong Kong. Their parents and former young siblings make the crossing in another vessel, but as weeks go by, it becomes clear that only one party has survived the voyage. An, Tan, and Min suddenly find themselves alone in the world, without family or home. They travel on, navigating refugee camps and resettlement centres until, by a twist of fate, they arrive in Thatcher's Britain. Not where you want to end up. There they must somehow build new lives with only each other to turn to, but will that be enough in a place that doesn't seem to want them? In this piercing and inventive debut, the siblings' faltering journey is deftly interwoven with the voice of their lost younger brother, Dao, who follows them from a place between the living and the dead, and the records of an unknown researcher intent on gathering the strands of their story. Wandering Souls paints a heart-wrenching portrait of a family in unimaginable adversity whilst exploring the power of stories to heal generational wounds. That also sounds fucking fantastic. I'm really excited to get to this. I've been wanting to read it since the long list got announced. I've wanted to read that. And that was another one. Have not seen it in any fucking big stores. It is not in Waterstones. I haven't seen it anywhere. And I went into just a random, it's a really nice, small independent bookstore. The upstairs is secondhand, the downstairs, it just has one shelf of new books. And there it was. So thank you very much for having it there. Because none of the big fucking places have them in store. I don't know what's happening. It's fucking cringe. Alright. Next up. This one doesn't come out in England for a month, but you can order it on Book Depository, and it's cheaper than the usual UK price, and it will arrive before it actually comes out in the UK. And that is Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. I've been wanting to read this. I was looking for it on NetGalley. I was hoping to sneak an arc, wasn't there. Everyone knows, if you don't know that I love Fonda Lee, then you've been missing out on the channel. I even made a video reading her favourite books. And so this is, Esther's family was torn apart when a manticore killed her mother and baby brother, leaving her with nothing but her father's painful silence and a single, overwhelming need to kill the monsters that took her family. Esther's path leads her to the King's Royal Mews, where the giant rocks of legend are flown to hunt manticores by their brave and dedicated rookers. Paired with a fledgling rock named Zara, Esther finds purpose and acclaim by devoting herself to a calling that demands absolute sacrifice and a creature that will never return her love. The terrifying partnership between woman and rock leads Esther not only on the Empire's most dangerous manticore hunt, but on a journey of perseverance and acceptance. I've seen good things. I haven't seen overwhelmingly amazing things about this novella, but I'm going in with cautious expectations and just looking for a good time. So I think this will be my next read. It just arrived. I'm very much looking forward to it. And finally, another one that I got through Book Depository because I think that the American edition looks so fucking cool. Like, this book is just an art piece. I don't need to read it. And that is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. Look at it, fam. I don't need to say more. It looks so fucking cool. I have not read any Shannon Chakraborty. I know Grace has just read City of Brass and has loved it. City of Brass is a prompt that I will be reading for a new video idea series that I have at some point. And so that will be getting to. However, this one, once again, through to Book Depository, it was 50% off when it fucking came out. So I was loving life when I saw that. And so this is that Amina al-Sarafi should be content after a storied and scandalous career as one of Indian Ocean's most notorious pirates. She survived backstabbing rogues, vengeful merchant princes, several husbands, and one actual demon to retire peacefully with her family to a life of piety, motherhood, and absolutely nothing that hints of the supernatural. But when she's tracked down by an obscenely wealthy mother of a former crewman, she's offered a job no bandit could refuse: retrieve her comrade's kidnapped daughter for a kingly sum. The chance to have one last adventure with her crew, do right by an old friend, and win a fortune that will secure her family's future forever. It seems like such an obvious choice that it must be God's will. Yet the deeper Amina dives, the more it becomes alarmingly clear there's more to this job and the girl's disappearance than she was led to believe. For there's always risk in wanting to become a legend, to seize one last chance at glory, to savour just a bit more power, and the price might be your very soul. Hooey! Sounds cool. Gives me almost Logan vibes. I don't know why I thought of that, but it's that you don't often see. I don't know how to describe it. This feels like quite a unique perspective for a fantasy novel, and I've heard good things about this book. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard the middle can be a bit slow, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think that's all the books. I'm going to make them look pretty now and then hold them all up like a cool guy. Damn, that's a lot of fucking books. Okay, so these are all the books, pretty much, other than do you know what? I've just looked and there are a couple more. Nevertheless, these are the ones that I bought recently that I'm very much excited to read. I almost dropped them all then. Please let me know whether you've read any of these, which ones you'd recommend the most, thoughts, etc. I'd be very intrigued to know. If you did enjoy, please do like and please do subscribe. And as always, have a nice rest of your day.